some more Tim's tips. I've been asked about the differences between chlorines. So, this one's going to be a bit longer. We start off with the calcium hypochlorite. So, basically chlorine as an item is very volatile, so it will gas off. It's got to be bound up with something to make it available. So this one's bound up with calcium. So the cal hypo in general is about 70% strength, so 70% yield. Cal hypo is unstabilized, so that's the dangerous stuff. So we tend not to use that out on the road. That one can turn into a bomb if it gets mixed up with acid or other things like that. A lot of people with above ground pools, manually dosed pools, will use this. What I try and teach those people is to use the cal hypo until their calcium levels from their water tests get to maximum range, and then to swap it out to something else. If you're using cal hypo tablets in a floater, in a tablet floater, like that, might bob around the pool, please be very careful that you don't swap from that to a stabilized chlorine tablet and mix the two, because that's when you can have this blow up in the pool. If you mix that with one of those, they can become very volatile and explode. So if doing that, make sure you completely exhaust all of those tablets. Give this a good clean out, or even better, get a whole new one. Mark this one up cal hypo, mark the other one up stabilize, etc. Whatever safety precautions you can put in place, please do that. You definitely don't want to mix tablets. The pH of this one is very high. That's another note with cal hypo. So extremely high pH. So if you're using that a lot, you are going to be needing to add little doses of acid to balance your pH out. Next one would be liquid chlorine. So liquid chlorine is very common. It's made basically just like a salt chlorinator. Down at Port Botany there, they take seawater, brine water, put a big electrodes in it, bubble the chlorine out, and it becomes a very concentrated form of chlorine. So these ones are about 12 to 13% strength. This does have a shelf life. This definitely has a shelf life. But these ones don't. No shelf life on those. Quite stable at 70%. These ones here definitely have a shelf life. So if you're buying your liquid chlorine, or you go past a servo and it's liquid chlorine out in the sun, you're not sure on how long it's been there, you might actually be buying liquid chlorine that's well below 13% strength. Well below 30% strength. So just be careful about that. I know ours is cycled over regularly, and we train the team to always swap the old stuff to the front, new stuff goes to the back. So it definitely has a shelf life. Very high pH as well, about pH of 13. So if you're manually dosing a pool, a rule of thumb for one of these is for every drum of this you go through, you should use about 750 mils to a litre of acid in that pool to offset the pH rise. pH rises up as you use that, and then you reduce the pH with a dose of acid. Then we have two types of stabilized chlorine. There's a dichlor and a trichlor. Di being two, so two chlorine atoms attached to the stabilizer. Trichlor is three. General differences. The trichlor is going to be more powerful, so it's always a higher strength. So the highest one that we have is black spot treatment. and that's 90% strength in a big granule, so it goes on the floor of the pool, so it burns out black spot. I wouldn't be using black spot algicide to get your chlorine levels up. It's a very specialised dose. Your slow release is a slightly lower percentage, 81%, because it also has a little bit of non-chlorine shock in there as well. Non-chlorine shock and clarifier in there. So that's quite good. These ones are very acidic, so they will actually do a pH adjustment down. So depending on what your test results might say, it might be appropriate to use this as a shock to reduce your pH down, and maybe you won't have to use any acid. Okay, so very acidic, about pH of 2. And then the Shock and Swim Plus, also the Spa Sanitiser is a dichlor, a little bit less in strength, so Shock and Swim Plus has 48% chlorine with it, and the pH of this is more neutral, so it's about 6.2, something like that. So, but it doesn't have a great effect on the pH in the pool. So not bad as a general shock or a general treatment. I like the Spa Sanitiser because it also has a solid dose of the non-chlorine shock. So that's ideal for pools that have just been knocked off kilter by a storm or something like that. So that's our few different types of the chlorines, 2 stabilised and 2 unstabilised. Very high pH, very high pH, very low pH, standard pH. These come in some compressed tablet forms as well, but the overall effect on chemistry of these ones is normal, is the same as these. The other note I'll make from my guys as well, these multi-action slow release tablets, they also carry copper-based algicide in there. So you do have to be a little bit careful about using these a lot. So if this is the only tablet you're using in a pool, and you use it over a sustained period of time, and you've got something like a cartridge filter which doesn't waste water, you could find that you've got far too much copper in the water. So if you're using those, that's great, but make sure you're coming into the store and testing for copper levels to ensure you don't have too much of that. I have come across pools in the past that have been stained black with huge amounts of copper in there, and the source of the copper has been these. Thanks.